So I'm just realising that I'm wearing the same hoodie from the last episode of 911, but it's been a few days and I promise this hoodie has been washed. It smells fresh. I am clean. And I'm definitely not watching it on the same day. But anyway, hello. Welcome back to my channel. I'm on to the next episode of 911 Season 3, the season finale of Season 3. The last episode that we watched was called Powerless, which was a great episode. Had some very sad things that happened. I guess the main one we want to talk about is Athena. She had the beaten out of her. She was brutally attacked. Follow that guy with the drone from a couple episodes ago, who we found out was doing worse things to women. Tracked him down to the storage unit, or tracked his movements to a storage unit, went in to investigate, found where he stayed, and then an attack happened. And it was not just a really brutal attack, it was a long attack. And we had to sit and watch Maddie and Bobby and other members of our crew listen to it and listen to the whole attack. And just the thought of not just your friend, but your wife being beaten up and you having to just hear the whole thing happen. And you can picture what's going on in your head. You can visualise the worst as well, because there was a gunshot. She managed to stop the guy anyway, and it looked like she was dead, but she wasn't. But she was in very, very bad shape, which I wonder if that's going to have any lasting outcome for this episode. I presume she's still going to be recovering, but I don't know what the outcome of that's going to be in terms of if she's going to be just back to going back to the job as soon as she can, or if there's going to be long-lasting consequences of that attack, because it wasn't just a normal bit of a tussle with some criminal. It was bad. It was a really bad attack, and the fact that it was against my queen Athena, make me really sad. But it was well done. It was dramatic. It was emotional, and it was very good. But I'm curious to see in this episode the outcome or the consequences of that. What I also think is going to be touched on this episode is we had Josh was going to court, decided to go to court to speak out against Greg. Maybe we're going to see some of that. Maybe we're going to touch on Book's storyline, because there's quite a few episodes toward the end of the season that's focused on Book kind of loneliness, feeling a bit disconnected and a bit lonely and not necessarily finding love, which is going to tie into the return of Abby. Right at the end of the episode, there was a train crash, a train derailment. The person on the train called 911. And it was Abby. She was on that train. I used to be on your side of the phone. Or whatever she said, something along those lines. But it was really cool to see Abby back. Even if it's going to be a brief appearance, she's obviously at some point going to come face to face with Book. And they're going to have to deal with the fact that she kind of just left and never really spoke to him much after that. She did kind of just abandon their relationship. Yes, to work on herself a little bit, but then that kind of went on and on and on. So I'm curious to see what she's been up to and what her life's like. The last couple of things that I hope this episode's going to touch on is either Hen going to medical school, but mainly Michael and his health, his brain tumour. He had a scan last episode to find out if the treatment was working. He says he feels better, but this is the season finale, and the season finale of most shows have bad things that happen in it, so we'll have to wait and see where all the drama goes in this episode. It's called What's Next? So, with 911 in particular, the actual season finales don't tend to be too dramatic or big bad cliffhangers. A lot of the seasons actually end up in a really nice episode. They kind of wrap a lot of it up. Maybe it's in case they don't get renewed, I'm not sure. But a lot of the seasons of 911 that I've seen so far tend to have a nice season finale. Maybe this will change it. We'll have a big bad cliffhanger, I don't know. But usually we have a lot of nice things, like it was like Athena and Bobby going on a date. And then, did they get married at the end of season 2? I think they got married. And just a lot of nice things. So hopefully this will continue that trend. So I'm just sorting my nose ring out. This will continue that trend and have some nice moments. Happy Book, happy Athena, Hen going to medical school, Michael's all healthy again. We'll have to wait and see what this episode brings. Like I say, what's next leads me to believe it's going to be the end of a lot of chapters for these characters and the start of a new chapter for a lot of them. For better or worse. We'll have to wait and see. Let's jump into the episode. If you enjoyed the video, please leave some comments down below. Let me know what you thought of the episode. Please subscribe to the channel if you've not already, and take a look at the Patreon link down below for the full-length reaction to this episode, as well as the next few episodes ahead of YouTube. But I also want to quickly say before we start, stay tuned to the end of the episode, because I'm going to touch on what's coming up next for 911, because the airing order of Season 4/Lone Star Season 2 is a bit different to how I did this season, so I'm going to talk about all that right at the end of the episode. So let's jump into the season finale of Season 3 of 911, What's Next? Here we go, season finale. This is the train before it derails. Oh god, trauma. Abby!
I'm a sucker for a sidecar and a train.
Sidecar. Sidecars are nice. It's nice to see her again.
By the train. I spent a lot of time in Europe, fell in love with train travel. And this is Phoenix to LA. It isn't exactly the Orient Express. Well, Phoenix is home and LA used to be home. So.
Used to be.
Somebody waiting for you there?
Oh, don't make me like this character, because that means she's probably going to die.
He stopped waiting for me a long time ago.
Summer camp. That's all we can talk about. Some of the other kids from school are going.
Yay!
It's only 2 weeks.
Summer camps are great fun. Did she do good? Is this a practice exam? Practice exam?
Damn it. I gotta get above a 5'11".
504 is pretty good.
Not good enough.
Getting into medical school at this point in my life is hard enough. I can't afford to be an average applicant.
Hey, there's nothing average about you.
No, she's
You
a
just
queen.
started studying this. Give yourself a break.
And you're brilliant. You don't need a test to prove that.
He said that she's going now.
Our living room is kind of under construction right now.
Oh yeah, because of the
I'm
fireplace.
in the hospital for 4 days, and you two lose your damn mind.
I told you, I was trying to make Bobby feel better.
What about making me feel better? I'm the one with the broken arm, and 50 people coming for a party in 2 weeks.
I didn't think we were still having a party. Mom, you just got out the hospital.
May, you graduated from high school. There will be a party. Your father broke it. He's gonna fix it.
Absolutely.
He did say he'd build a new
I'm
one.
gonna go home, do some sketches, and I will come back here in the morning.
Dad, don't you have a doctor's appointment in the morning?
Oh.
Michael, your results are in. You want me to come with you?
No, Athena, I got it. The doctor is gonna go over the scans with me, and
Please be good news.
then we'll know.
Please be good news.
It's terrible, isn't it?
No. Look, when
It's
I
not
read this, I know exactly
emotional,
what
I
Greg did to you.
guess.
What I don't understand is how you feel about any of it.
Does it matter?
Yeah.
Look, this moment is about you. It's not about what you're supposed to say. It should come from your heart.
Absolutely. Oh, it's going to be emotional when he does it. I'm going to cry, aren't I? I mean, it's me, of course, I'm going to cry.
I'm so sorry.
That had nothing to do with you, I promise.
I am trying not to be offended.
So what caused this to derail? Something on the track?
Really? Excuse me?
Look, man, self-expression is kind of my right, okay?
Not when it infringes on my right to peace and quiet.
Jesus.
Look, I got a huge show at the Roxy, all right? I've been prepping
I
for months.
don't
It's really
care.
tight.
Whoa. Why don't we hit the pause button here? All right, I think a little peace and quiet would be a
Self-expression's
great idea all
great.
around.
She doesn't have a pause button.
But when you're bothering other people's...
That's not good.
No, I was about to say that exact phrase. Uh-oh. How scary. Ten minutes for impact. 10 minutes for impact.
Awesome, Dad, you did it. Not bad, right?
I'm gonna get more characters that I'm gonna
Not bad at all.
like just before something really bad happens.
Slow down!
Maybe the train like barrels into the side of the caravan or something.
Morons. Kill somebody. Sneak it out when I'm not looking.
Why would we do that? We've only been
3 nights. 3 nights, which I have not been paid.
Brooke Shields.
Get yourself gone, or I will have you towed.
Jeez. I thought that was Keith Arabashka. He was an angel, the guy that shouted at him then.
Food bank, not too far from here. I'll hit in the morning.
You told me I had a week to find a job. I never said that to you. You pay, you stay. Those are the rules.
I mean, if you're not paying your bills, I get it.
Look,
Oh,
I came in here because his son should never see his father have to beg. But I'm still always telling him, just to keep your head up. I don't know what's next.
What's next? What's next?
what? Train! Shit the bed. Oh, God.
You have the case files for the other victims.
Oh, yes, I'm sure you have specific questions, but I thought it would be easier to just go through all of them.
She's there to talk to you, Athena. But Athena's not going to accept the help, I imagine.
So, I've done this before. Yeah, but I was on your side of the line. I used to be a 911 dispatcher.
She did indeed. And this was the end of the last episode.
Please, you can just let me.
up into
Guys,
the
got
car. Please, I've got to get up
Man,
there.
I'm sorry.
Uh-oh.
We can't let you inside. It's too
Oh, it's
dangerous.
Eddie.
I know it's dangerous.
I thought it was Buck then.
I hear you. I'm sorry.
Wait, are you from the 118?
Here we go.
Abby.
Buck.
Oh.
But you were on the train.
Yeah,
We
I
need to
got
get you checked out.
No, I'm fine. I need to
Hey,
get
Abby.
up.
What? No, that's crazy.
Buck,
No, Abby. Okay, we'll just tell us.
Okay.
We're going
My
inside.
fiance.
Awkward.
He fell asleep and I went to the bar.
Can you give us a description?
Poor fiance. Poor Abby.
We were in that top car right there, all the way in the back.
Oh, of course they were. Of course you were. Bloody show.
Fine.
Buck.
What's his name?
Sam.
We'll
You'll do the right
bring him
thing.
back to you.
Yeah.
I promise.
Please. My fiance. She's on the train.
She's okay. She's okay.
Yeah, hey, she's okay.
He's got a collapsed lung from the blunt force.
O2 levels are dropping. I can relieve the pressure, but we gotta move this beam off him.
Just someone else?
We got somebody else.
Where is the other person?
How you doing?
Oh, it was the young girl.
My side really hurt.
I can tell I'm old now that young girl refers to someone who's like a teenager.
Force of the crash. Push your leg up into her torso.
We're both trapped by the same beam. We take the pressure off of him and we're squeezing her. Which one has the better shot?
Injuries are different.
Oh god.
The risk is the same.
Have to make a choice. Oh god.
We save. We're gonna pick who we save.
I'm saying I don't think we can save them both.
Your instinct is to pick the younger person because they've got a more life ahead of them, but then it's going to look like he's killing Abby's husband, that fiance. There's no right. Oh.
I can't help but notice that there's a file missing from this table.
Your file.
His attack on me was nothing like what he did to these other women.
I'm still a victim, babe. I'm sorry.
I don't think it's fair to compare traumas. And from what I read, his attack on you was pretty brutal.
Well, it happened pretty fast, and I don't remember most of it.
She's distancing herself like she said about the other people.
Sometimes the brain's way of protecting us is to block out painful memories.
Yeah.
I've never had anyone feel better because they didn't know what happened to them.
You were never here to talk about these other women.
Of course she wasn't. You should have known that, Athena.
I'm here for you.
But she's in grief and she has trauma.
Well, I'm not ready.
At least she said, I'm not ready, rather than, I'm fine, everything's good. No, she was right, I'm not ready, that's mature. Look at the dog! Oh, so cute. Hello.
Sir, are you hurt? No. I'm looking for my son.
Do you know where he
Surprised he's not hurt because he's that close to.
I loved him when I was talking to Rory.
All right, tell us about your son.
It's her. Yeah, or me, isn't it?
No.
God.
No, that's not what we do. Tell me about your fiance. His wedding.
June. She wants to wait till the girls are done with school.
Your father.
Got 2 kids.
Good boy, Richard. Good boy.
Good boy. So cute.
I don't think I can move. What's happening?
Never a
Is
good
something wrong
sign.
with him?
Just give us a minute to take a look, okay?
I can't seem to locate the occiput ligaments.
That's occipital dislocation. I've seen in car accidents. Never seen someone still talking after. All right, command. We need an
Occipital
extraction team
dislocation,
on
what's
the
that
north
mean?
side of train car 2.
She said it was in a spinal injury.
It's called an internal decapitation. His
Oh.
spine is intact. It's just no longer connected to his skull.
But he's
Oh,
alive.
God.
He's talking.
As long as his spine remains intact, he's still got a good shot at surviving this.
Eternal
So you get him to a
decapitation.
hospital so the surgeons
That's
can
scary
replace his ligaments, okay?
The protocol dictates that we save whomever has the better chance, and Eddie's saying that's the girl.
Her vitals are stronger.
He's the
Starting to
father.
decompensate. We have to choose.
We do. We can't move that steel beam.
All right, I know you made a promise.
What promise?
To his fiance. I promised I would bring him back to her.
What?
Abby.
His fiance's Abby.
Oh, yeah.
No,
okay.
not just about her.
Oh dear, because that's obviously personal. Which is not good. In a...
Close to this. This is too risky.
I am
Yeah.
willing to take the risk.
It's not yours to take. You can't just rush into any dangerous situation and assume it's gonna be okay.
I am not Athena.
What did you just say to me?
Enough. We don't have time for this.
Oh.
Oh, come on.
I don't want to see this again.
Really sorry.
What?
If you got hurt. You were really nice to me.
Sorry, you're gonna miss your gig.
It's gone very grey outside. When did that happen? Apologies if I'm really dark all of a sudden. I went dark a while ago. I was so transfixed on that I didn't realise how dark it got outside.
What are you talking about, Dad? We're on an adventure. Hey, what do we always say?
Maybe not the best thing to say right now, kid.
Keep your head up, because
What just happened?
The automatic signals from Milo's brain stopped telling him to breathe. We need to put a tube down his throat.
It's funny, like, she's going through all this stuff. I bet people in medical school, some people anyway, would have never been anywhere near anything like this.
Abby.
Okay. Sam's out.
Down there waiting for you, Sam.
Is the girl out as well?
It's gonna be okay.
Yay!
Because she's brilliant. Way to go, Wilson.
Why did that make me want to cry most?
You're so amazing and brave.
Thank you.
Your book?
Good to meet you, Sam.
Oh, this is really hard.
I thought I was dying because he thought I was.
But you didn't. You survived.
She did.
You're doubting yourself.
I should have called for backup before I went inside.
Maybe. But that doesn't mean that what he did to you was your fault.
Maybe not.
Absolutely not.
But I scared the hell out of my family and myself. And now I'm left feeling like I can't trust my instincts anymore.
It'll take time to heal.
Well, what if that part of me never does?
It will.
And that's why I was struggling.
It will.
I couldn't
Oh,
figure
God.
out what to say to you. But then I realized I don't have to.
He's such a prick, isn't he? Ugh.
Because I'm gonna walk out of this courthouse. And I'm gonna have some drinks with friends.
Hell yeah.
And you're gonna go sit in a box. Every morning, you will wake up and think about why you're there.
You'll think about me.
You will have to think of me.
He is a dickhead,
But
but
I
God,
can
he's
choose
sexy.
to never think about you again. The tumor has shrunk by almost 30%.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
This is all good news.
It's good news, Michael. Be
Yeah.
happy.
When do you want to tell the kids?
Tonight.
He's gonna meet the guy again. He's gonna meet. Is that the guy?
Okay, what time?
I'm not sure. There's something that I need to do.
Hold the elevator.
Right now. Now get it on this elevator.
Hi. So, where were we?
Oh, so cute.
I'm sorry that you had to find out about it this way. I had actually wanted to talk to you about everything while I was in town.
That's what you're sorry for.
Not sorry for the
When did you
leaving.
know that you were
Not
leaving
speaking.
me for good?
Well,
You know, what was it? Was it Morocco or Paris or Dublin? Did you know then that you were never coming back to me?
I thought I would.
Did you? Really?
Look, I was a person whose life revolved around everybody else's problems. I just had no sense of self. I had to leave everything so that I could remember who I actually am.
I do get that though. It's just,
And you did.
could have handled it better with
Right?
Brooke.
I mean, you did.
I think I was afraid that if I came back, I would become that person again. Because I missed you. I wanted to see you.
It's
But
nice
I
and
didn't
all,
trust
but
myself.
you still could have spoke to him.
Because being here, being with me, you might lose yourself again. I'm glad to see you happy, Abby. You deserve it.
She does. I'm really conflicted because like she could have dealt with it better, but she had to do what was right for her.
My little girl, ready to start a new chapter. You have your whole life ahead of you.
So do you, Dad.
May your dreams come true, May.
Good, that's really good.
So adorable.
Do you have a minute? There was something I wanted to talk to you about. Yeah, sure.
What?
We'll be back to work soon enough.
It's been 30 years since I've been a civilian. I'm not sure you're ready to have me at home all the time.
Oh, I think I could get used to it. I'm gonna have the chance, and I can't wait to get back out there.
Oh, poor Athena.
Can I help?
It's like a story of love.
People tend to fear the unknown.
He's gonna have
We
a
look
great
ahead,
time at
but we
camp.
also look away.
Oh. She's gonna have smashed it. She's gonna have smashed it.
Truthfully, the not knowing, that's not something we should fear. It's something we should embrace.
So
it's what makes this all such a great adventure.
You doing okay?
Yeah, I think I am.
Because in this life,
Good.
you have to be ready for anything.
Whoa, that smells terrible.
That's the salmon thing that you loved the last time you had it.
Is she
I can't
pregnant?
believe you're still not feeling well. Have you seen a doctor?
She's pregnant.
Oh my God. We have to go.
She's pregnant.
Right now.
Thought all you had to do was pee on the...
Where's his brother, by the way?
Are you sure?
She's gonna be a mom.
We're pregnant.
We're pregnant.
Yep.
Oh,
We're having a baby?
I mean, great parents. Okay, that was my reaction to the season finale of 911 Season 3. What's next? And I just want to apologise if the colours on the screen are a little bit odd and they changed a lot throughout the episode. My camera really struggles when it gets quite dark outside, and it was fine when I started the episode. The daylight was great, but then partway through, I didn't even notice that there's some huge grey clouds have come over the house. It's raining outside. It's very dark. Even though it always looks really bright here, I can't even point like there, just, there, like through my kitchen window. It's just, it is quite dark outside, so I apologise if the colours have changed quite a bit, because it bothers me when I edit it. You guys might not even care. But whatever, so that was the season finale of 911, and as always, like most season finales of the show, they did a really good job of making like a really nice, sweet ending. For such a dramatic, intense show, they end it on such a nice note. So let's go to the train crash. We jumped back in time just before the crash. We saw, you know, Abby getting a drink from a bartender. We saw these two people that lived nearby in like a trailer park sort of place who were getting kicked out because they couldn't pay the bills. And obviously the train got derailed because of an electrical fault. And then it smashed through that guy's office, which was a really great moment because he was a bit of a dickhead. Obviously, I get it. It's like, if you can't pay your bills, then part of me's like, well, he has a right to kick you out if you can't pay your bills. However, he was a bit rude about it, and so when he was shouting at that guy and the train just went whoosh and smashed him, awful that he's dead, but it was kind of a satisfying moment because you ultimately, you're, as a human, you sided, I would hope, with the guy who was struggling to pay his bills and stuff. So that was just a nice moment when the train just barreled through his office. But just awful, like a train derailment in general is terrible, and obviously having the character that we know on it is worse, but we know that she survived the train crash because of the end of the last episode. But still, just watching it happen is not pleasant, and just watching these people all just getting killed is not nice. But yeah, the train crash was horrible, and actually, considering it's such a big incident, we actually only focused on like two separate things that happened. So the guys that were on the trailer park, his son went missing, and it found out his son was internally decapitated, which I'd never even heard of before. So it's where like, your head dislocates from your spine, but it doesn't obviously rip off your body. It's just that it all happens inside. They managed to, you know, save his life. He lost consciousness, Hen intubated him, and they managed to get him out there. For such a big thing like this internal decapitation, it was actually quite a short part of the episode, and still quite dramatic and scary because that's not something I've ever heard of before. But watching Hen work and just be the badass that she is great, because we did see also through the episode, before the crash, she was taking the practice exams and doing good and obviously passing, but she says, I don't just want to be good, I want to be great, and I can't just be an average student going in at my age. So we could see how great a person she is, how great a doctor she's going to be, how great she is at saving lives. And so at the end of the episode, she did tests, she passed with flying colours, all great, she's going to be a great medical doctor. Kind of curious to see next season how it plays out, because I don't want her to leave Chimney in the fire station, but I'm excited for this next chapter for her character. So I'm really curious to see next season, how that all plays out and what happens with her. Exciting. Yeah, I'm excited for her. Back to the train crash though. Hello? I don't know if you can hear those voices, but I thought someone was in my garden then. It was next door, but it was so loud and so close by that it was like, someone's in my garden. Because this is my back garden through these doors here. The train crash, the main thing we had to focus on was we met Abby, Buck came face to face with her. Oh my god, this is scary, but you need to save my fiance. And there was that moment you see Buck's face just drop, that not that he's been waiting for Abby, but there was always just maybe a part of him that was holding on to her because he thought she was going to come back one day, and he said that to her at the end, like, you said, I promised I would wait for you. And he'd got another girlfriend, didn't work out, and he's got his blossoming romance with Eddie, but he doesn't realise it yet. That's fine. But just the fact that she went away and just completely gave up on that relationship or moved on from it and got a new fiance hit him pretty hard. But he was trapped, of course. Where was he trapped? At the worst possible place to be trapped, at the top of one of the train cars, which is like vertical. Of course he is. And so they had to go and save him, but it wasn't just a straight save. It was, he was pinned by a rebar, a metal thing, and it was pinning him on one end and a girl on another. So it's one of those, we have to move it, but if we move it one way, it's going to kill the other person. If we move it the other way, it's going to kill the other person. So do we save the young girl, or do we going to save Sam? And I thought it was going to be this really big moral debate over who do we save? Do we save the father with 2 kids? Or do we save the young girl who's younger and got more life ahead of her? Which sounds awful to say, because you shouldn't have to make those decisions. And I guess the best way to look at it is what Bobby said, which is we save the person who's got the best chance of surviving. And I thought we were going to face a situation similar to, if you ever watched the initial season of Grey's Anatomy, I want to say it's in season 2, because I didn't watch all of the show, but I watched about the first 10 seasons, I think. There's an episode in season 2 where there was this younger girl and an older guy, I think, that were impaled with this like metal pipe like through them, but they were they facing each other? Something like that. And basically one of them was going to die. They had to take that pipe out, but the only way they could do it was one of them was going to die, and they had to decide who to save. And it was a really emotional bits where the girl and the guy were talking, and obviously he was like, I think he chose to die to save the young girl. I can't remember exactly how it happened, but it was really emotional. It was really sad because there was no other way around it. Whereas this episode, they managed to find a way to save both by putting Buck's life in danger, which we'll talk about. But in that episode, they couldn't. And we're not reviewing Grey's Anatomy right now because let's not do that, because that's a show that I don't remember much of other than 1 or 2 episodes. But that was just a really emotional, which is what I thought we were going to do here, which was this big ethical, moral debate of who do we save. And it was going to be really sad, and we had to kill Abby's fiance, which Abby's going to blame Buck because you killed him because he's my fiance. And that obviously was never going to be the case. But luckily, they saved both because Buck sacrificed his life. Oh, no, that sounded awful. Buck risked his life. And as expected, when Bobby realised he was risking his life to save Abby's fiance, it was like, no, you're too close to this. You're already doing it because it's Abby's fiance. But I don't believe that. I do think that he would have done it even if it was somebody else, because Buck is that kind of person that he would put his life at risk to save other people. And there's something very weird going on my camera right now. So if I move there and move back, can you see like it leaves an imprint on my face? I don't know what's going on, so maybe I have to try not to move as much. Does it work with my arms as well? Yeah, it does. Maybe my camera's on its way out. Great. Just what I need. So let's try and do this without moving too much. Okay? Because my camera clearly is on its way out. So, yeah, they managed to save both of the people. That was really good because I expected one of them to die. And you had that emotional talk with Abby at the end, which was about how she left. And it was like, when did you realise that you were not coming back? Because you never told me. And I'm kind of conflicted about it because whilst I agree with Abby that she had to go and do what was best for her and do the right thing for her mental health and growth, and she was never herself in LA, and she had to go and grow and discover herself and learn who she was, and that's a really great thing to do. It's hard to make that decision to, right, I've got to move away from everything that I love and I know to find myself. So I support her on that decision. I just wish that she'd contacted Buck and just explained that she wasn't coming back so that he could get closure on it and move on, which he couldn't get because he expected her to come back at some point and she didn't let him know. So I'm conflicted. I don't know how I feel about her, but I feel like that's the end of her character. I felt like she wasn't coming back anyway, but now that she came back for that one episode, I feel like we're not going to see her again. So nice ending that it gave Buck that closure. Finally, he can move on with his life and never not hold on to the possibility that Abby's coming back, because she's not. She's got this fiance who's got 2 kids and she's happy with him, with her life elsewhere. And now he knows that and he can move on. And we saw at the end of the episode that Buck said, yeah, I'm good, I'm okay. And so he can be happy. And hopefully in the next season, find love with Eddie, I hope. We also had Michael getting the results of his scan. And good news, as hoped for, as I wished for, Michael is getting healthier. His tumour is shrinking. It shrank by 30%. And so hopefully in the next season, his tumour will have shrunk even more and he will get a full clean bill of health because he deserves it. He's been through the treatment. He's had enough drama. And not just that, but as I hoped for, he's going to have a meet cute with that guy again. But it was really nice to see that, just like a random, like I'm getting happy news, I'm turning around on the phone, he's there, I've got to go, hold the door. And they got into the elevator, shared a look, it was like, so where do we leave off? And that was just a really nice moment because they're both very cute together and I'm happy that he's finding love and a good diagnosis on top of that. Josh went to court, said what he had to say to Greg, and I think it was this episode where I kind of realised how attractive I think Greg is. I like a bad boy, what can I say? He's a bellend, no, like you could see in his face he just did not care about what Josh was saying, but like Maddie said, yeah, he doesn't care, but it's good, you've got to get it off your chest, you've got to say everything you want to say. And like Josh said when he was doing his whole speech in court, when I come out of here, I'll have moved on, I'll be happy, and I've gotten over you. You're going to be stuck in a box, and you'll have no choice but to think about why you're in that box, and so you'll have no choice but to think about me every day. And I love that, because that is very powerful. And even though this guy was like, there's going to be a part of him that's like, oh God, like, I've messed up royally, I should never have done this. And he will think about Josh every day, because, you know, he beat Josh up to get the keys to raid the 911 place, and that has led to his downfall. And so get lost, you're going to go to jail and have no choice but to think about what he's done. So good ending for Josh as well. Athena was struggling with her trauma of what happened, and this trauma specialist coming over to speak to her. She presumed it was about all the cases of all the women that were dealing with it and how she could maybe help, and things they don't want to talk about, things they don't want to admit, how they're dealing with their attacks. It was very clear to me from the start that she was coming over to Athena's house to talk to Athena because Athena is a victim as well. She was brutally attacked. And what I liked was Athena said, I'm just not ready to talk about it. And once she realised why the woman was there, it took her a while, it took her longer than it should have done. But she did say, I'm just not ready to talk about it yet. And I like that because it wasn't no, I'm fine, I don't need to deal with this, it's all good. She did say, like, my attack's not the same. But like the woman said, Brooke Shields said, it's not right to compare traumas. Like, your experience was different to theirs. It was still brutal. And so eventually we saw towards the end of the episode, she did speak to her and open up about her thoughts about what happened. She didn't really remember it because the brain's blocking it out. We saw bits when she opened the file. But it's clear she's not okay. She's not sure if she's ready to go back to work or she wants to go back to work. She doesn't feel safe. She's scared. And that's really hard to watch because it's Athena. It's this very strong character who we know and we love. My camera is doing really weird things. Like, look at that on my fingers. It's weird. It's like leaving like an imprint of everything for a second. I don't know. I'm gonna have to buy a new camera. Yeah, it's not nice to see Athena, who's someone that we know, we love, who's a strong woman, be struggling and suffering and have to go through all this horrible stuff. And I'm curious to see next season, is she going to be staying home? Is she not a police officer anymore? Or what? Or is she going to have to go back to work and she's going to struggle with her emotions? And we're going to have to see how that affects her next season, I guess. May graduated. She was going to go to college. Oh, I had a thought, actually. She was going to go to college. And Maddie said to her, like, are you excited to go to college? Like, are you looking forward to it? And she said, can I speak to you about something? Is she going to go to be a nurse, maybe? Maybe she's going to go to college to go to medical school and become a nurse or something like that. Maybe that's what she wants to speak to Maddie about. That could be interesting because we saw that May is growing up to be this strong, mature woman. Becoming a nurse could be quite exciting for that character. That's exciting. Looking forward to that. Seeing what goes with next season with her storyline. What else do we have this season? I guess the other big thing we had at the end of the episode was Maddie is pregnant. I should have realised because at the start of the episode they had the bit where she was talking to Josh and she was yawning and it felt very out of place. I didn't know whether it was like an acted yawn by accident and they left it in as like a funny little bit or not. But then when she was sensitive to the smell of the food at the end of the episode, I was like, she's pregnant. And she realised very quickly, she's like, we've got to go. And she ran back to the apartment, took 2 pregnancy tests, ran out and was like, we're going to have a baby. I think they're going to be great parents. They're good people. They're smart people. They're intelligent people. They're educated people. And I just think, as she's a nurse and she's such a caring person, she's going to be a great mum. And Chimney's going to be a great dad, I think. And what that part of the episode did remind me was, what the hell's Chimney's brother? Like, his half-brother. He was staying at their apartment. He was in, 2 episodes? Maybe 3 at best. And then just disappeared for the rest of the season. Has he gone? Have they written him out without saying anything? Or is he going to be in it next season? We'll have to wait and see. But it was really weird to kind of realise that where's Chimney's brother gone? Because he's just not been in the episodes for a while now. But yeah, Maddie and Chimney are going to have a baby. And as I expected, this season ended with a lot of great, happy stuff. Hen passed her exams, her test exams, going to medical school. She's doing really well. Obviously, Chimney's going to be sad about that, but he's also supporting her. Buck has moved on from Abby. He's got some closure on that situation. Maddie's pregnant. May's graduated and potentially going to maybe be a nurse, maybe. I'm not sure. Athena is the only one that's kind of going through some bad stuff as she's dealing with the fallout of the attack. Michael had good news about the tumor. It's shrinking, but had a meet cute with that guy. He's found some love. And Josh has stood up in court and said what he needed to say to get closure on that. So it feels like everyone's got a really happy ending, excited for what's next, the next chapter, except for Athena, who's struggling with the attack and what she went through and doesn't know what lies with the future. Like, it's good news in the sense that she's healing and she's physically okay, but mentally she's really struggling. So that's like the one sad bit that we're not sure is going to happen next season. Maybe she's not going to be a police officer anymore. I think she'll be okay and she will eventually go back to work. There'll be a couple of situations that will maybe take her back and relive the trauma, but I think she's going to be okay. I hope so, because she's such a strong character. But yeah, that was the season finale. Really good episode. Really strong episode. Some really good closure with the Abby storyline. I'm ready for him to move on with a new chapter of his life and not be all sad about Abby and feeling lonely and depressed and moving on into something bigger and better for Buck at least. So looking forward to season 4. The next episode out is going to be your Q&A, your Patreon questions. I'm going to answer some fun Patreon questions about season 3 of 911. So I'll talk about probably my feelings of the season as a whole, depending on what questions I get asked next episode. But looking ahead to the next seasons, the next seasons are going to be a little bit different with my release schedule. So, with this season of 911 and the first season of Lone Star, it aired in a very different way to what's going to happen next season. So the first episode of season 3 of 911 aired, then all of Lone Star season 1, then the last half of season 3 of 911 aired. So that's how I've recorded these episodes. And I'm going to carry on recording it in broadcast order, but from looking at it online and looking at the broadcast order for the next season, so season 4 of 911 and season 2 of Lone Star, they were broadcasted one episode after another. So episode 1 of season 4 of 911, episode 1 of Lone Star season 2, episode 2 of season 4 of 911, episode 2 of Lone Star season 2. Now I don't know, I need to look at the actual time slots to see which episodes aired first. Did 911 air before Lone Star, or did Lone Star air before 911? you can probably let me know down in the comments in Patreon, because you'll have watched it probably live, but I will look it up online to make sure that I'm watching things in the correct order. But I am going to be following it in broadcast order, like I've done with these seasons. So what that means for the next bunch of episodes, or next seasons, is it's going to be alternating 911 to Lone Star to 911 to Lone Star. So what I will say, because that's going to be a little odd to record, is my plan right now, at least temporarily, is once I finish the 100 season 7, because that is the final season of that show, that time slot, at least temporarily, while some work situations get dealt with and resolved, and whilst because my job role might be changing, is I'm going to fill that slot up with 911 / Lone Star, so that I'll be recording one episode of 9 Star, one episode of 911 a week, one episode of Lone Star that same week, so that even though I'm alternating episodes, I'll still be recording one of each a week, so that I can still remember everything that's happened and not need like 2-week breaks between every episode of each show, because that's going to be quite confusing. So that's my plan moving forward. I hope that makes sense. If you need me to clarify, let me know down below, but I'm sure I'll talk about it more as I get into the new season as well. I'm potentially looking at my crazy camera stuff now with a new camera, because look, it's still doing that whole leave an imprint off stuff thing. I don't know why it's doing that. As far as I can know, it's never done that before. I've never noticed it in any episodes or recordings before. It might just be a camera, which I've had for quite a while now, is time to be replaced. But anyway, you guys don't care about that kind of stuff, so that was the season 3 finale. Let me know down below in the comments what you thought of the episode. Did you enjoy it? Did you like the train stuff, the closure with Abby, and all the different happy endings that we had, minus Athena? What were your thoughts on the season finale of season 3 of 911? And are you excited for season 4? And season 2 of Lone Star? But also, if you're watching over on Patreon, please start thinking about some questions for my next video, my Q&A of season 3 of 911. I'll put out a post over on Patreon asking for those questions. But yeah, I'm excited to recap that season and get into some new seasons of the show. And also, because the start of each season has a new big disaster, what are the disasters going to be on each show? I'm looking forward to seeing what they are. Are they going to top the tsunami? Most people said the tsunami was their favourite, but I'm excited to see what they do and how they pull it off. As always, my name is Scott. If you enjoyed the video, leave comments down below. Let me know what you thought of the episode. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Take a look at the Patreon link down below. And I'll see you all very, very soon for the next episode of 911. Bye guys, take care and stay safe.